The Takeover.
Okay. Did we start? Yeah, we did. That's how I start.
Takeover.
Now, there's a lot of things we're going to get into. When I speak, and when I speak, and when I speak.
This is the Takeover.
How do the levels sound? How do the levels sound? How do the levels sound? The levels sound good. The levels, okay. All right, the levels sound good. The levels, I think the levels sound good. I think we're good. I think we got our levels correct. Everything is correct. And I think it's a good time to start. I think it's a good time that we could start the podcast, and it's started already. The podcast has obviously started because you can hear my voice, and that's always been the rule every week. Every week we've started the podcast because the voice has started. And we know that going forward, okay? We know going forward, we're like, hey, did the podcast start? Yeah, probably. It probably started. If we push play on our device, then it started, even if we don't hear sound. Now, I know that each week I'm like, hey, there's sound coming out of your device because of my voice, then that means it started. And then also there's the intro song. So it started. And shout out to all of you guys for playing along, and we're here to start the game. We're here to start the game, and we feel back to normal. We have first of all, we have a lot of things to get into. Energy's already off to a great start. We came out the gates fast. I feel like, listen, if we're a football team, we scored on the first drive. That's huge. If you're a football team, you want to score on the first drive, and that's what we're doing right now. And that's what's great about this. That's what's great about this right now. Because the coffee's kicking in, so we're good to go. And shout out to Jules for giving me my coffee's kicking in cup. That's a shout out, and she's a team member. She's a team member, and she's a part of the gang, and she's part of the team. And you're all a part of the team, but she's especially a part of the team as she's a member. She's a member of the YouTube Takeover page. Does that make sense? Now, before we get ahead of ourselves, let's just start with a shout out to our newest members of the team, okay? CarlyJojo is our newest member. And if you want to become a member, you go to the YouTube page, and I think you have to be on the desktop, and you would just click join membership. It's next to the subscribe button, okay? Because on the YouTube page, you have the subscribe button, but then next to it is a join the membership. I don't know if you can necessarily do it from your cell phone, but there could be a way. If you go to community and then you click on how to become a member. Not really positive, but check it out. And there's different tiers, and that's what the Patreon is now transitioned over to the YouTube. So check that out and become a member. And also, guys, for you loyal listeners, don't forget to leave a 5-star review on all platforms. Apple Podcasts especially always helps out. Okay? So we got that going in. And then make sure you, great. I didn't like that sentence. So let's go back in time for a second. I leave a 5-star review and on all platforms. And then also check out the Takeover Clips page. We have a Takeover Clips page that I started, and I have someone editing clips for me now, and there will be a lot of Takeover clips. So this is already, I feel good. And I'm excited because, listen, how was the week, Michael? Ask me how the week was. Mike, how was the week? Well, we had the bachelor party in Joshua Tree. And I don't know if you guys know about Joshua Tree, but here's how I'll start before I even get into that story, because there's a lot of other things I want to do first. But I think for you guys to be ready, I want you to Google or go on Airbnb and look at Starship Landing, Joshua Tree. I want you to see where I was staying. I want you to see these houses, and I want you to check out what this whole little retreat could be. And it could be for you too. It could be for anyone. But if you type in Starship Landing, Joshua Tree, you'll see what this place is about. And I want you to know about this place because I want everyone to experience it in their own way. It doesn't even have to be the way I did it, but I want everyone to experience this because I think it will change your life for the better. And at the end of the day, if you're listening to the Takeover, it's because we want to be a better person, and we want to improve ourselves as an individual, and we want to improve the people around us. And that's what we're preaching here. And we're not a church, but it's okay to use the word preach, right? It's okay to say we're preaching. And all of this is possible. And ask me right now, Michael, why is all of this possible? Well, all of this is possible because we're supported by Manscaped. Manscaped, it makes everything possible on this podcast. And you might be a Chewbacca or Bigfoot or a hairy bear, but it's what's under the costume that really matters for this Halloween. You know, depending on what you are, you want to be comfortable. So think about that, okay? Don't be that hairy guy. Manscaped is forever changing the grooming game with the Perfect Package 3.0. Here's a little picture I added for the socials. This is going to be up during the ad read, and it's just for Manscaped. This is what I have to do. I work for them sometimes, and it's only for a few minutes, okay? So deal with it, okay? Inside the Perfect Package, you'll find their electric trimmer called the Lawnmower. We know about this. The Lawnmower 3.0 gets all of the fuzzes out of the way. If you have too much fuzzes, girls are going to get, you don't want a girl's face to get itchy when she's down there. I'll be honest. I've met some girls with itchy faces, and they're like, it was awful the whole time I'm itching my face. I don't have to itch my face if I'm giving some orals. And orals are a great time. If people want to give orals, let it be a part of the life, okay? Everyone who has oral in their life is a better person. So let's make sure they don't have an itchy face. They didn't write that down. I just kind of made that up. Again, I kind of throw in my own little stuff. I don't like to totally read the whole time, so I hope I don't get in trouble, but that's just how it is, okay? Again, you have the Lawnmower 3.0. It's waterproof and skin-safe trimmer will reduce nicks to your pumpkins. Now, when we say pumpkins, they obviously are doing a play on words. They mean your testicle area, your testicles, for sure. That's what that means. You can also create less mess by trimming in the shower using their magic mat. Disposable shaving mats. Now, that's a lot, but I mean, you could do it. I think there's a reason they invented that is because people had a hard time with the pubes in the shower. We're not going to have that problem now because we have these mats. I haven't tried out the mats personally, but hey, send them along, Manscaped. I'm down to use mats. And I guarantee you I'm adding this to it, but I'll bet you if you have an in-house potty-trained dog, he could actually go on the mats. So if you run out of pads for your little pups, you could probably use the mats as well. I would think it's fine. I think it probably collects all of the poop or pee, whatever the dog decides to do on that turn or when he has to go to the bathroom. And, of course, let's not forget about the Crop Preserver, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. You already put deodorant on your armpits. Why are you not putting deodorant on the smelliest part of your body? I did not know that was the smelliest part of the body, but it's good to know. Now I have all of these things because they sent it all to me. And do I use it? Sometimes, but every time I try to use the lotion, I get excited. I'm not going to get into that because, God forbid, mom's listening, and we don't want to be inappropriate. But that's for sure something you want to check out. So a girl who doesn't have an itchy face is down there, and she's like, not only does my face not itch, I feel fabulous with aroma. Aroma? Is that a real thing? We don't even know. Okay? The Perfect Package 3.0 also includes anti-chafing performance boxer briefs. We've already talked about those a lot. And the boxer briefs that keep your package cool and smelling fresh all day. For on-the-go freshness, you'll love the Crop Reliever Ball Toner Spray. I have that too. And it's time to get clean and mean with this Perfect Package 3.0. You can get 20% off and free shipping with the code TAKEOVER at manscaped.com. Stay sexy for Halloween, guys. Your balls will thank you. So that's our Manscaped ad. We got to thank them, appreciate them on the pod. We love it. So check that out, guys. And now we're back to the show, guys. We're back to the show. So that's it. That's all we had to do. Okay? Now we're back in it, and the show started, okay? And the coffee's kicking in. Now, here's where we get real, okay? Now, there's a few things I want to go over because I'm excited because here's the deal. We got a dance party going on this week because it's going to go into the whole Joshua Tree thing. Now, I've never been to Joshua Tree. I have one time to do a show. I went there and I left. But this Starship landing, if you look at it, it's amazing. So I go there with these guys. And here's where people get uncomfortable and they're stupid and they don't understand life, okay? Because people are like, oh, so you went on a bachelor party. Normally you go to Nashville or you go to Vegas, right? You do the whole douchebag thing. You have pool parties, bottles, getting drunk. whatever, you're doing some drugs, you go to the club, you DJ, you do some drugs, you gamble, you're in hotels, you're having fun. There's a lot of things and stuff going on at Vegas. This was different because there's not a lot of things you could do right now in America. You can't go to Vegas or Nashville and experience that kind of lifestyle with COVID and everything. So my buddy Tim, whose bachelor party it was, decided to go to Joshua Tree. And I had never been before, but I was excited. These guys set up everything. And I live in California, had no idea. The biggest part of the trip, I think, was staying at this place called Starship Landing, okay? And I think we already know what the title of this episode is going to be, Starship Landing. Anyways, so these houses are fascinating. It was made for this, okay? I think there were about 20 of us, 20 guys, about 10 in each house, people sleeping on couches. It was fun. People are like, wait, so you guys went to the desert and did, you indulged in the drugs with all these guys? Yes, we did. And it was a blast because we were laughing, having a good time, and we were focused on having a good time. And that's what's important. Is first of all, I was with a crew that was they were pros. They were pros. They knew what we were doing. They knew what was going on, and they knew how to handle the situations and how to party and how to take things and in a safe, correct way. So I'm going to go ahead and say that now. I know that some of you guys are a little bit younger, but I was with professionals. I would say don't try this at home, okay? Everyone I was with knows what they're doing and they're experienced and they know the correct way to do things, okay? So that was going into it. We have that experience, so we're safe. So again, don't try this at home. Everybody, for the most part, I would say all across the board, all 20 dudes were at least on mushrooms at one point, okay? But being out there in these houses was the experience. I mean, there was hot tubs, there were hammocks, there were trails, there were one of the houses is decorated. It feels like you're in a 70s vibe. It had a 70s vibe. There's the carpet is like a big furry carpet like from the 80s and 70s. The colors of the houses, the colors they use is yellow and orange, just like a bright kind of had that 70s vibe. There's a lot of those like games that you would play with the beanbags when you're throwing the beanbags. There's a pool table room. There was an arcade game, Mortal Kombat, beanbags to lay on, hammocks in the front to where you could sit and we would watch the sunrise from the front of the house. There was a lounge area with fake grass near a yoga room. It was supposed to be a yoga room, but for us it was really the DJ room, which was the most fascinating part of my life, was the DJ room. And then they had an outside picnic table where you could eat. They had a fire pit. Then they had another layout area where you could lay out and look up at the stars that was like maybe 50 yards from the house with a trail, and then 2 chairs that you could lay down and just see all of space. You could see all of space. Again, I mean, I don't know if you could feel the energy through me right now of how excited I am just talking about it. Like I'm a different person going forward. I promise you that. Going forward, I'm a different person than I was going into that. Just because it's an unplug. It was an unplug, and I knew it was going to be an unplug. And I've talked about this before when I've done stuff like when I've indulged in mushrooms, and I've always been a big advocate of it. And I said that's something I would always probably try to do at least once a year. It's the only thing I would ever tell my own kid. Hey, if you're going to do this, I think do this with a couple of your best friends, and I'll pay for a hotel and to make sure you're safe. It's what it does to you. It really, first of all, the only way I could describe it in a positive way is like it opens up your mind. It makes you realize how special and how amazing it is to just be one with this earth and just be alive and appreciate that you are here and that all these things in this world that you hold on to or stress out about or like put a lot of energy into don't matter. They don't matter at all. And it's just like you forget about that because you get stuck in this whole matrix of life and you build a routine. And one thing about life is everybody has a routine, whether it's good or bad. And throughout the podcast, I've always talked about how creating habits and your life is just a bunch of habits you created and you put in a routine. And that is essentially what life is. We all have a routine. And if you don't even notice it, you do most of your day is doing things that you always do. And when you start to do that over and over for years and years, you get sucked into that you stop noticing other things in life. Does that make sense? Like, you are so focused that, not to go in. I've never really researched the whole third eye thing, right? And I don't necessarily believe that, but I think there's an analogy of when you are so zoned in to what you're doing or your life. We all live under our own bubble. You're not aware of what else is going on or what else is in this world, and you forget, and you don't appreciate the other things about life because you're so sucked into your own thing. So that is the biggest part of what mushrooms are in life. I think they stop you from really appreciating what life is and just being happy in the moment and being glad that you can share this experience with the people you love, your friends and family. You're not usually doing this kind of stuff with your family. Although, are you kidding me? I mean, my dad's probably too old, but knowing my dad, I know he's done it before. I would have, I'd love to experience it with my own dad, or even my sister. She's never done it. But none of my family members have done it, but except my dad. But he's just too old to even try that stuff. But every time you do it, you're just like, man, nothing's guaranteed, and we could all die tomorrow. You don't even know. And so just to be like, to just enjoy, you can really feel the energy of what people are feeling. Something I was really in control of I could, throughout the house, out of all the people, I mean, a couple guys I guess were like me. I could sense, like, if anyone had some thoughts or negative thoughts, I was like, hey man, I get what you're going through, but you got to stop that. We need to get that out of the way, because this is a positive trip. We need the positive energy to make us all feel good. We're all going to have a good time. So if you do that, it's going to make you not have a good time. And I would break that down to a few guys throughout the whole trip. I would be like, yo, you can't be talking like that because it's not healthy for this trip. We got to, I was just in control. Like, you can really control your emotions and make yourself have a better time if you are comfortable in your own skin and know how you can react to things. Like some of the guys, like, throughout the whole trip, you could feel like the drugs makes you vulnerable and open up. You could tell some guys would hold on to that and they didn't want to let it out. And I go, let it out. Let yourself be who you are. Stop feeling bad about what you want to do. If you want to dance. Don't feel guilty about it. Don't feel like, do I look stupid? You can't have any of those thoughts. If you want to have the best time ever, you have to let go of all your insecurities and just be who you are as a person and feel magnificent, really. I hope this all makes sense. I hope I'm not rambling a lot, because the coffee for sure is kicking in. And again, thank you, Jules, for the coffee kicking in mug. We'll take a break. And that's what you have to do sometimes. You have to take a break, bring it in, and calm down. But now going into that is like, that wasn't the only thing we were doing. We weren't only doing mushrooms. I'm not going to go into everything, but there's another world that I was introduced to. Now, my buddy Tim, recently he had a real job, but he was laid off from COVID, and his hobby was always DJing. Not like DJing at a club with hip hop music, not DJing like the famous techno DJs, like what they're doing. There's a different house vibe music where it's like sound effects and beats that kind of really you can feel through your body, especially when you're on certain drugs. And there was a time on Saturday when this is what he likes to do. It's his bachelor party. He loves to do it. He starts DJing, and I've always been like into music and stuff like that. But there was a time where he started DJing, and I was listening to the music, and I was watching him do it, and I was watching him get into it, and he was feeling himself, and I got sucked in, and I started watching him DJ, and I was like, I was with him. I was one with him. Like, I started dancing. And long story short, I'm going to go into the details, but just to give you an idea so you're with me throughout the story, him DJing and me dancing, we did that for 6 hours. It was 6 hours. It was from like about 10 p.m. to like 4 a.m. We were nonstop dancing. And people would come and go and dance. But me and him, I mean, he'll tell you, it was one of the most beautiful moments in my life. Like, and he'll explain to you, and people who were there will see it. It's something that nobody's ever seen before. I had never seen it before. They have never seen it before, and they've been a part of this world, but me and him were connected through this music. It was the most connected I've ever been with another human. And it's not even, it's another guy. It's nothing, it's not sexual or like that. It was just like he was into the music and whatever he was doing, and I'll share his music. And going forward, when I have my dance parties, it's always going to be his music, and I'm going to put up his music, and you'll see it playing, and I'll put up his tags, and I want you to go to his Instagram, and go when I put up his Instagram, I want you to go and just hit him up and be like, wow, I heard the story about your bachelor party. It sounded amazing. That's amazing that you have that passion and you have that skill set, and that's something you should never stop doing, because that's what makes you happy. And we had talked about that even when I would dance it. We would take breaks and I'd be like, bro, this is the most amazing feeling I've ever had in my life. Like, I can't, like, whatever you're doing is working. He's like this. It was the most fun he's ever had DJing. Like, we were just one in one, and I would just be with him, and I would be sitting there, and I'd be like, yo, whenever you're ready, let's break it down. And he would get into songs, and then it would hit hard, and then I was like ice skating. It was in this garage with this smooth garage floor, and for whatever reason, my shoes would just slide, and it was like I was ice skating to his music, and it was controlling me. And whatever songs he would do, and then whatever songs he was doing, I would go into it and then come out of it, and then we would chill, and it would be because he's chilling, because he's like finding the next song. And I don't know if I'm explaining this right, but it was the most amazing thing I've ever been a part of. It was just like people who were there. Some people were like, he goes, I got to be, it's like my buddy Justin at one point, he was like, bro, I don't really know what was going on, but for about 3 hours there, it was some of the most poetic connections I had ever seen in my life. It was phenomenal. I just wish I could be like, I wish I could show you it, but it's just something that you had to be there. It wasn't captured, and it's probably better that it wasn't captured, but it was just like, I've never danced that much in my life. I mean, I was drenched in sweat for how long I was dancing, but I couldn't stop. Like, I was so connected with him and his DJing and the music. It was one of the most amazing times of my life, and I was just like, and to like know that like it's a real art form, like just even that with the music, like when you think of a DJ playing music, that's different, but there is a thing where like DJs do connect to the people dancing, and whatever I was doing was helping him, and it was just fully magic. I can't, that's the best way to describe it. It was just magic, and that was just eye-opening to me, because now when I listen to his music, I'm always thinking, I'm like, okay, I can feel it in my body. And I know this sounds ridiculous to some people. You're like, what are you even talking about? But I mean, I don't even know how to explain it other than that. It was just amazing. I'm also going 100 miles per hour. But again, the whole trip in general, like laying out, seeing like the star, like you can see space out there. Like, and you don't see space out in certain places because of the city lights, even in small cities or big cities, whatever. But out there, you could see shooting stars constantly. If you laid down for even 30 minutes, you're going to see a shooting star. There always are shooting stars. And then, I mean, you could see Jupiter, Saturn. There's apps. They have this app where you can hold your phone up and it tells you what you're looking at. You can see Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, and Venus. Just the sky, just hearing the sounds of the desert, and then just jumping around to different personalities. And then I think part of it is because all of us are in our 30s, and the older you get, the more your personality is highlighted. So it's almost like you get to, because people are comfortable with who they are. Most people. There are some guys you could tell who weren't necessarily comfortable in their skin. And I don't know why that is. And it could be something to be like where they're just in this world where they never have the time to really self-reflect or meditate and really understand who they are. And I think a lot of the meditating I've been doing over the last year really made my experience that much better, because I was able to like really know myself and be comfortable. Like I knew that the way I was dancing, like one of my buddies was like, what are you doing? You're ice skating. You look like silly. I was like, bro, I don't care. I am so connected to this that this is all I want to be doing right now. I am in the zone. I feel great, and I'm so happy. Like, I don't care. Like, you could tell some guys would try to dance and they would feel uncomfortable dancing because they didn't feel comfortable about how they looked about it, which is like crazy. You're in your 30s. Like, get rid of that. Just be who you are and enjoy the moment. Like, I think that is what's wrong with a lot of people in this world, is they don't really know themselves that well. And, this could be part of stand-up, but there are guys like me, and I think that were there who weren't holding back because maybe they meditated. I talk about that with Tim. Meditating really changed his life, and it definitely helps with me. And you're comfortable in your thoughts. You're comfortable in silence. That's another telltale of what was going on. Is there'd be times when there would just be like silence and people are just like looking at stars, and someone would have to say something because people are uncomfortable in silence. That's a good indication of when someone's not comfortable in their own skin. They can't sit there in a silent moment and take it all in. That's something that I think is special that you have to work on, which is helped with meditating or even experiencing hallucinogenics. But that being said, oh boy, that was just a run right there. I want to show you. I want to get into the music real quickly. I want you to feel this for a second, because this is my buddy Tim's music, and this is our dance party this week, okay? We're going to have a dance party, and we're going to enjoy the dance party for sure. Before we get into the second half of the podcast, which is going to be different, it's going to be something I've never done, so bear with me. But here's this. This one's out for my buddy Tim. On SoundCloud, he's T hash, or what are the stars when you put a star on the keyboard? Whatever. It's TMD with two little asterisks. T asterisk M asterisk D is his name on SoundCloud. But I'll put up all his socials right now. I want you to give him a follow on Instagram for his company, and I just want you guys to check out his shit and support him forever. And my dance parties are always going to be the music he's really kind of made, and I can't tell you, it's just like, this is just a sample of it, but if you feel it, now you can imagine if you're on some certain drugs and you're watching someone do this and they're having fun and they have different beats that they can change. It doesn't even matter. You just go with it. What does it make you do? This is just a little bit, but then you have little moments where he goes in and you're like, what's that? Uh-oh. What's that? Okay. Something else is happening. What are we doing? What are we doing? Okay, this is it. Here we go. Wait. It's coming. See that? That's real life. When you let it control your body like that, that's real life. I can't ever get out of it. I'm here forever. The music has made me here forever. I'll never stop doing this now. It taught me I don't even know how to dance, and the music made me dance where I was smooth. There was no way to explain it. It was the smoothest dancing I've ever done in my life. And I wish you saw what I was doing. It was the smoothest dancing I've ever done in my life. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my whole entire life. It was fascinating. But I want you to check out his shit, and then, yeah. All right. So now, here we go. So there's a couple things, like, here we go. Just going off of that, where, like, understanding art is what it is. Like, there's a couple guys there, like my buddy Evan, he wouldn't understand. He doesn't understand certain things. Like, he'll always be like, he's very money driven, and he'll be like, oh, I saw this guy, like, my daughters will watch this video of this guy doing this funny thing, and he gets so many views, and it's hilarious, and he makes so much money. That's what he would explain to me. Like one of these guys that like, kids watch these little YouTube shows and he's like, bro, this guy does this thing where he puts up this character and he goes and he makes so much money. He's like, I don't think he's really like that, but whatever. He just puts it on for them and he makes so much money. I go, yeah, it's an act. You mean it's an act? That's what you're saying. It's an act. He goes, yeah, well, why don't you do that? I go, and it's almost like an insult when someone doesn't understand what art is. They're like, it's like if you went up to a painter and you're like, did you see what that Michelangelo guy was doing? That's like, his paintings are worth a lot of money. Why don't you paint like that? If you said that to another artist, he'd be like, what are you talking about? Because I'm doing what I do, because this is what makes me happy. He can't comprehend that. I'm like, bro, the guy that your kids are watching on YouTube, he's doing an act, and he got good at it because he kept doing it, and he enjoyed doing that act. That act wasn't something that he forced himself to do because he thought it would make money. That's not a real thing. When you're watching any sort of art, even an art that you disagree with or you're not a part of, the reason that art is so good is because that person is doing it, and the pure enjoyment of them doing it is why they're doing it. They love it so much that they like doing it their way, and eventually when you put your 10,000 hours into an art, you find a way of doing it in the way that gratifies you to the fullest. And stand-up wise, I feel that I'm close to that. I feel close to where like I don't care about the distractions around me anymore, whereas I just want to go on stage and do what I do and the way I do it. And if you're with it, you're with it. If you're not, fine. But if you stay focused in the way you do your art like that, you'll rise to the top, because so many people will be fascinated with it because they can identify when you're doing something that's real to you, if that makes sense. They can identify that art. And I was explaining that to him, and I was like, bro, like what Tim is doing now is like, he's not making money yet, but like he's doing it because he feels connected to it, and it's pure joy and love, and it makes him happy. And if he keeps doing that for 10,000 hours, 20,000 hours, people will start looking over at it and being like, wow, this is special. Whatever he's doing is special. And I saw it that night. I saw that this is like a special thing that I even wanted to be a part of. I was like, I believe that when I was dancing with him to this music and we were connected, I thought that moment was special. It was like something that I was like, this is something that people would pay to see one day. Like I was like, even me performing, like I would love to one day put on a show. I put up on a stand-up show for a half hour that it turns into this show where he starts to come out at the end, and then I'm dancing around and we're just connected, and people in the audience feel that and they see that. I think it would be a fascinating idea, and it could be something down the road, but in my eyes I envision doing a show like that one day where like, hey, I'm telling you my story of stand up, doing it, you're laughing, you're having fun, but then we're going to groove into a little party, like a little dance party, and it's fun and it's beautiful. Like, people don't always understand art, and it's a little frustrating to know that art can be a business, but before art is a business, it has to be pure. And nobody who's doing art at a high level is faking it. It's impossible. You cannot fake art. It's beautiful, and it's at its purest because someone put their heart and they put their sweat, blood, and tears into it. Like it's real. And he can't understand that, because every time I hang out with him, there still is that thing of like, well, what are you gonna do? Like, his mind is like figuring out, how do I make money doing it? And I'm like, yes, there is a business to it, but you have to be true to yourself first. You have to hone your craft. And I go, when you're watching a guy who's making millions of dollars doing something like on YouTube that all these kids are watching, it's because he honed in on an act that started to work because he enjoyed doing it. That was who he was. Of course, he's not like that. Of course, he doesn't walk around every day and wake up and go, hey, what's up? I'm this character. Of course, he's not like that. Like the fact that he was like, I don't think he's really like this. Of course, he's not. It's an act. It's an art. His art is, he is expressing himself through this character that turned out to be great. It worked out, and that works out different for everyone else. But like, and sometimes someone's art might not be popular at all, and it could be just so specific and different. But if they're doing it for themselves and it's pure and people can see that, they'll connect to it forever. And that's the truth. So that was a little frustrating to know, like, he just doesn't understand really what art is. And it's like, I hope that if you guys really didn't understand it, that's the purest. When you're watching a comedian or music or a DJ or someone's artwork, like, and you're in love with it and you're a fan of it, it's because they're doing it at the purest form. They've learned to break off all their influences and become true to who they are and make it a beautiful thing. So I hope that makes sense. This is a real episode. What do you think? I feel like we're in a real episode. This is a real connected episode. I'm excited about it. I love it. I love this episode already. I wish I had more of my buddy Tim's music to play for you guys. I'm just excited right now. So understanding art, All right, let's get into this for a second, only because it was brought to my attention, and I know that a lot of people are into The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, okay? Am I saying it right, or is my tongue moving too fast? The Bachelorette. Here we go again, me messing up words. Here's the thing. I know The Bachelor's big. I would love to be on The Bachelor. I'll tell you that right now. Why? Because life rips still. I'd love to be on The Bachelor because I think it would be hilarious if they just let me be my blunt self and talk to people how you normally would talk and not make it cheesy sometimes, because I would be like, this is kind of cheesy. I would love to speak my mind, which I always do normally, but I would think they would have to, there's some certain rules on this. But that being said, I am supposed to go on a podcast soon where they're very big on The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. So that being said, I wanted to do some homework before I went on there. And I know they think they're 2 episodes in. And this is the cast. We have Claire. Claire's looks like an elegant, beautiful woman that has her shit together. Now, keep in mind, I know nothing about this show right now. I know about the show. I know how it works. But I know nothing about the cast right now. All right? I know the host, but I don't know who Claire is. I don't know her background. So this is just based off of looks, based off of pure looks. All right, I'm just going off of all their headshots. Okay, I'm gonna go through, look at their headshots, and tell you what I think of them, because this is how casting works in real life. People want to think what they want about you based off your picture. Okay, and with Claire's a woman. Claire looks like a beautiful woman that has it together, that honestly looks very sweet and wholesome looking. And I think that makes sense if she's the Bachelorette. And I assume sometimes they come from The Bachelor, they find someone that they're like, they fall in love with. I don't know if that's the case, okay? But if I go through, I get the first guy. The first guy right here is AJ, software salesman, which he lives near Playa del Rey. This is near me, and he's 28. So he's 8 years younger than me. Looks skinnier guy. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, just kind of looks like a stand-up guy. Looks like he's probably a good guy, but probably maybe more eccentric. I know they want very good-looking people on this show, but like, I think probably lacks personality if I had to guess. And again, this is just based off looks. AJ looks like he kind of lacks personality just off the pictures. Now, if you're listening, go ahead, look up the photos of these guys. It's very easy on your phone. If you're watching, I could put their picture up, I guess. I could do that. Maybe I could put up their picture and be like, this is AJ, okay? That's him. Does he look like an AJ? I wouldn't say he looks like an AJ, but, I'm not sure about this guy's personality. But now if I move to Ben, okay? Ben, 29, Army vet. He's an Army vet and lives in Venice. Ben's got a temper for sure. You could see it. Ben looks like he's strong, but for sure has a little mush in the brain. For sure is like has a funny laugh. I'm gonna go with has a funny laugh. Definitely probably in good shape for sure. I would say most of these guys are in good shape, better shape than I am. But, who's to say I can't get to that shape? But Ben's probably like, I would say Ben's a little more unstable. And when he gets drunk, careful, for sure. I'm going with like, Ben drunk is like, all right, we don't know what Ben's going to do. He's 29. Is he going to run into a wall? Possible. It's a possibility that he runs into a wall, for sure. Bennett. Now here we go. Bennett now is Bennett. It's a wealth management consultant, 36, New York City. Bennett is the all-American guy here. Very handsome guy, has a square. I mean, this guy's hairline. How do you even compete with that? How do you compete with Bennett's hairline? I mean, already going through it, he's my favorite to win. Just if we're talking about looks like he has it together. Looks like he knows how to charm your parents. Looks like he could charm any girl. He's got a great smile. Looks like he could sell a house. He's not even in that. He's not even in that business, for sure. What would ruin it is if he was like 5'8", but I doubt it. I feel like Bennett is like a 6'3" guy. You could tell just by the look. How do I see all? Here we go. See all. That's Bennett. All right. Now we get to Blake. Blake's for sure a guy that would be in my fraternity. For sure. I mean, his hair length above his head is probably as long as his face almost. For sure. If you cut off his hair and you put it in front of his face, it's epic. And then that's always a red flag for a girl. Like, I don't think Blake's ready to settle down. I'm going to be honest. Looking at Blake, he's fucking around. He doesn't want to be single. He doesn't want to be in a relationship. He's just more excited that, I mean, he's a male grooming. He's in male grooming specialist. All right. Now that changes things. Blake could be gay. Now Blake could for sure be. I got to hear Blake talk. I have to hear Blake talk. Could be gay, but based off his looks, this guy has fun. He's the most excited to be on the show. For sure. Out of all of them, he's the most excited guy who's like, this is an awesome opportunity. Doesn't care if he wins or loses. That's my thoughts on Blake. And now we got another Blake. Okay. And this Blake is, he's from Canada, so he's probably a softie. Like, he has the Canada beard, and he looks like he's probably a little bit bigger. But this Blake is like, for sure, has a soft heart. He's from Canada. Have you guys ever met people from Canada? They're all the nicest people in the world. For sure, a nice guy. I think he's just happy to fucking be in America right now. And, I mean, yeah, I think he's a little confused a lot of the time. He looks like he's sometimes. It looks like for sure he gets confused a lot. Like, especially with relationships. He's like, wait, what is this? And he doesn't know. He doesn't know how to read rooms, for sure. Blake doesn't know how to read rooms. That's what I'm going with. Brandon. Well, Brandon, slow down here. A real estate agent. So I'm guessing he's some sort of ex-athlete or something. I mean, Brandon now, if we're going through everyone, is by far the most model-looking man. If you're talking about, hey, if I had to raise my hand and be like, I want to see this guy without a shirt, it's probably Brandon. And Brandon, he doesn't even get a last name. Only the Blakes do because there's two Blakes. So, but Brandon, for sure, is just clearly an alpha, clearly the head of the pack of these guys, I would say, looking through. Probably doesn't give a shit, really. He, again, is just, he's like, I'm on the show. Probably thinks he's going to be in the finals anyways. Definitely some arrogance there. Definitely very confident. Not a fighter. Doesn't have a temper like Ben. Like, Ben for sure could be unstable. That was the second guy. But, like, Brandon for sure is just like, he's fine. He doesn't even care about Claire. He's just like, watch. I won't even say much. I don't know what his personality is. Probably not a lot there. But probably is like, I just have to look at her a few times and I'll make it to the final four. That's Brandon for sure. Now Brendan, a commercial roofer from Massachusetts. Brendan did not have the best childhood for sure. Brendan seems like, had some unstable relationships his whole life with friends and girlfriends. Really isn't sure. Normally his hair wouldn't be like this, but, ABC was like, hey, let's spice it up a little bit. I mean, there was probably a point in life where people were like, hey, Mini Justin. They called him Mini Justin. But definitely Brendan's really unsure about a lot of things in life. I mean, he's 30. He's maybe closer to figuring it out, but you could tell he's just like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know if I want to smile. Like, if you're not smiling in your photo, fuck you already. And Brandon wasn't smiling. Again, we know he's arrogant. And Brendan isn't smiling, but because he's not sure. He's not sure if he should smile. He's like, do I smile? Like, Brandon knows he doesn't want to smile. He's like, nah, I don't smile. I don't smile because it's so hard to make me laugh or smile. That you better impress me. Like, if you want Brandon to smile, show me, give me a reason to smile. Like, he's not even smiling at his own child, if he has a son, he's not smiling. He probably won't even be there. He'll be like, I'm on a trip because I got to sell a house. Brendan, on the other hand, wants to be there and actually would be an undercover crier. Brendan is an undercover crier for sure. Now we get to Chasen. Oh my God, there's so many. I didn't realize this is going to be so long. There's so many. Chasen is... Jason's for sure like, come on. All the time. You could for sure Chasen, very handsome. I mean, the guy's hair is unbelievable. I mean, this guy's hair is unbelievable. But I mean, Jesus Christ, does he have a big lip or what? Is that really his lip? Oh, he's got a fucking big lip, huh? I don't know, man. I can't stop focusing on that. Oh, he's got a big lip. He's got a big one. He's from San Diego. That's the most San Diego looking guy I've ever seen in my life. Probably is always like, come on. What are we doing? You know what I mean? Probably, I would say, very passive guy. Cool. He's an account executive, an IT account executive. So, for his look, I would say lacking personality for sure. An IT account executive. I'm just saying he's probably more chill. He's probably just a very like, whatever you want. Like a very, I would say the most beta alpha guy we'll ever meet is probably what Chasen is. I don't have a lot. I don't want to make fun of someone's looks, but it's hard not to. Now, Chris, landscape design salesman from Salt Lake City, probably maybe a Mormon at one point, and he got out of it. Now, his headshot is kind of like, I'll leave, but wait, and makes you feel good. I would say this guy's probably the goofiest guy out of all of them. Chris definitely looks like he knows how to laugh. Yeah, and Chris is a handsome guy. He's fine, definitely handsome. I would say he's probably the best guy for the girl so far. That probably has it. It looks like he has it all together. For 27, has a good jaw. Looks like he's stable and comfortable in who he is. But from Salt Lake City, maybe a lack of being around the country, doesn't really know the world that well. You know, could be a little close-minded. We're not sure. Could be a close-minded guy, but looks fine. Dale, former pro football wide receiver. All right, well, Dale's going to for sure be an alpha. Played football, 31. Still could have been playing if he was good enough. Obviously not that good. Dale's just kind of like really all over the place. I mean, he's a former pro football wide receiver, and he's 31, so we don't even have a job title for him. It's just like, when was he in the NFL? And he's just like, I need help, and whatever can help me get a better job. So this is just an opportunity to help him get to the next level. And that's what we're doing with Dale. Dale's really kind of just like, you know, I'm here for a good time, kind of go with the flow motion type of guy. Actually, I would think Dale's someone I would get along with the most. I might even look up to Dale because he played football. So, and I'm assuming a wide receiver in the NFL, hopefully at least 6'1", 6'2", you know, probably very attractive with the shirt off, wide receiver. Just saying, looks good. Now, DeMar, 26 from Scottsdale, Arizona. Anytime someone's from Scottsdale, Arizona, it's a red flag. It means they like to have a lot of sex, okay? There's a lot of sex. One of the most sex cities in the world, Scottsdale, Arizona. There's a lot of sex always happening in Scottsdale. And DeMar, I got to be honest, DeMar knows what he's doing. DeMar looks like he's kind of like, he's definitely not ready to settle down, and he's doing the whole show just to get more women. DeMar knows what he's doing. He's going to clean up. First of all, he already has cleaned up, and now he's going to clean up even more because of the show. He's a spin cycling instructor. Okay, do I forget words sometimes? Yes. But do I know a spin cycle instructor? Yes. And what do I know about them? They sleep with all the girls in the class. They sleep with every single girl. DeMar cleans up, and this is for him to just keep cleaning up. He just wants to clean up as much as he can, and eventually he's going to have a bad addiction to sex, which if he doesn't have already. Now, Easy, sports marketing agent, he's got the personality. He lives in Newport. You know, this guy, hands down, has the best personality out of everyone. He knows how to laugh. He knows how to charm people. He could be deceiving, careful, but I think he does have, it looks like he has a good relationship with his mom. He definitely has a good relationship with his mom, and probably, is someone that, could for sure be a potential late round winner. I'm telling you, Oh yeah, he knows what he's doing. He's a good lay too for the girls. Okay, then we got Ed, healthcare salesman from Miami. Ed, you got no shot. You're one of the first people out. Ed, I don't know, man. You look like everything you've decided to do in life was because your dad and mom were like, yeah, we agree for sure. Ed, you're too structured and in your ways, a little closed-minded. I want to say he's a Republican for sure. I mean, he's from Miami, and it's just like, yeah, he's got no chance. His personality's bland. He gets obsessed with little things that don't matter. We're moving on from Ed. Garen is a professor of journalism. Garen's a little boring. He's for sure boring. Like, great smile, always laughing, definitely listening to everyone else. Everyone else in the room, he's just like, I agree or I disagree. Is non-confrontational. Maybe could be another potential gay guy. We don't know yet. Could be a gay guy. Always looks happy. Definitely has a very soft personality, and he lives right down the street from me, North Hollywood. So, nice guy. Ivan, potential winner here. Ivan looks like just a good, sweet guy. He looks like the kid in class that doesn't get in trouble, pays attention, gets good grades, won't let you cheat off him. Ivan doesn't let you cheat off him. From Dallas, Texas, too. Engineering. He's smart. He's an engineer. He's smart. He's handsome. And actually seems like he's looking for real love. Ivan's looking for real love. This is another, could be a late round winner for sure if she connects to his personality. Now we get to Jason, another former football player, a lineman. So Jason is just happy he looks good, because if he used to be a lineman, that means he was overweight and he lost a lot of weight, because he's a former pro football lineman. Everybody knows no lineman has a six-pack. They have a lot of weight, they're strong in the legs, and they like to fucking push people over. Always have kind of like a laughing personality because they're surrounded by a bunch of other big personalities. If you're a lineman, you don't have a big personality, kind of like like some of the wide receivers do, or your quarterback. 31. Jason's like me and Jason probably. Jason would be a fan of my comedy for sure. Sorry, I knocked this over. Jason and me. Jason would for sure come up to me after a show and be like, bro, I loved your shit. You're hilarious. I can't explain Jason more than that. 100% Jason's a fan of me. So that's the first one. I think there's only one fan of me here. And down the last row, I'm sorry, I didn't know there was this many. I wouldn't have done this. I thought there was literally only like fucking 10 of these guys. Again, I've never really watched the show, but going into it, I want to be prepared going into a podcast where I might do where we talk about the Bachelorette. So now we got Jay, who's a fitness director from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Now we like Jay already because I'm from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, but Jay got no shot. He's got no shot in this because he's always like concerned. You can tell Jay gets concerned a lot. Jay, why are you concerned? Like, just don't be your picture. I feel like you're concerned and we got to relax a little bit. You know what I mean? Jay's for sure never really gotten in trouble, probably never driven drunk, never got in a car with his buddy who's driven drunk, these are good things, but still like live a little bit. Definitely has never done mushrooms. For sure a good student, and just over passionate about what he does and proud of what he does, and has maybe experimented with guys. I don't know. Could be a third one. Now, Jeremy, 40 years old, the oldest one here. Jeremy is a bad guy. You can tell for sure he's a bad guy. Jeremy's not faithful. He's in D.C. Still does cocaine when he goes out sometimes, but not that big of a deal. Probably has a sister that's married with kids, but he's like, yeah, it's not for me. Still is not sure if he wants a family, and he's happy, and he definitely cleans up because he's 40 and he's still single and he's on the show. Cleans up a lot for sure, but I don't trust him at all. I do not trust Jeremy at all. I think he's a bad guy. I think Jeremy's a bad guy. Then we got Joe. Joe's, Joe, you could tell, is always skeptical of other people. He doesn't really trust other people. Also thinks he's the smartest in the room, for sure. Thinks he's the smartest in the room, but if his personality was a little different, he would be more successful. I don't know if that makes sense, but you could tell that Joe's personality holds him back, but he is a smart guy, but also has a little bit of a very thin line of confident and arrogant to him. Okay, Jordan C. Jordan's wearing glasses, and I think he's lying. Already, I don't trust him. I think Jordan's lying. He's wearing glasses, and I think he's for sure going to cheat on whoever he's dating. I mean, he's got a beautiful smile. He's a good-looking guy, and he's putting on these glasses to look a little bit more innocent because, yeah, he knows what he's doing. This guy wears contacts. Most of the time, this guy wears contacts. For whatever reason, he decided to wear glasses in this picture. Makes me not trust him a lot. For sure, not ready to settle down. 26 from New York City. This guy's just doing this for the opportunity to clean up, for sure. All right, Jordan M. Jordan M, he's just a chill guy, and he's just probably like, yeah, I'm down. I don't think he'll get far because I'm thinking this guy lacks personality for sure. He lacks personality. Just kind of goes with the flow kind of thing. Disagrees with people but keeps it inside. Doesn't vocalize if he disagrees with someone. So, but he lives out here. Smart guy, so he's an introvert probably. Now Kenny, 39, boy band manager. Well, I mean, fucking Kenny. Kenny might be like the fucking best looking guy on here. He's 39. He looks like he's 22. I mean, how are we even competing with this guy? He's a boy band manager. Are there even boy bands anymore? What are we doing? Is that a real thing? Or is he just, first of all, he's making up. There's no more boy bands. So he just made that up. And if he's a boy band manager, like, for who? Is there boy bands anymore? He looks like he's in the boy band. Is that even possible? I mean, this guy looks like he's 23 and he says he's 39. Dude, and his shirt's open showing a little tat. He's a bad boy. By far the best lay out of all these guys. She's going to have the best sexual chemistry with this guy. Hands down. Assuming she sleeps with most of these guys, this guy's winning. I don't know. I think that he makes it pretty far, but she's hesitant because she doesn't think that he's actually ready to settle down. Because at 39, you would think the guy's ready to settle down, but the way he looks is like he's got 10 more years of playing. So I don't know. Probably also of good personality. I'm telling you, because he meets a lot of people. So for sure is a good laugh. Likes to have fun. Could even be a goofball. I'm excited to see about Kenny. Could be my front runner. And then we have Mike at the end. And Mike's from Canada. We got another Canadian who's very funny, who's very nice, very sweet guy. They're all sweet. 38. They love beards. He could be a sleep winner too, a sleeper, because he's genuinely looking for love. And I think that if anything, Mike is going to have concerns about her. He's going to be like, I do like her, and he's going to get pretty far, but he's going to be like, I'm not sure she values the same things I value. He's one of those guys. He's like, well, are you ready? Are you sure you want me? Because it seems like you're more interested in these other guys. Like, he's going to get hurt. Mike is for sure going to get hurt. And that's what I think going forward. So that's my recap. Oh, come on. There's more guys? I can't keep going. There's more guys. I did not know there was more guys. This is unbelievable. Okay. Paige. There's a guy named Paige. He's 37. From Austin, no chance. All right. It looks like he's always hot. He's sweaty. It's too much for him. I don't know why he's even on the show. He's from Austin, though. I'm not sure about Paige. Paige got a weird mustache. Riley's an attorney from Long Island. Riley's real. He means well. Riley's got no chance, though. Riley's just kind of like, he just knew somebody. He got on the show. And, this is going to help him get his own firm. Robbie, 31, insurance broker from Tampa, Florida. Could you look more like you live in Tampa, Florida with your headshot? I mean, you really went with the most Tampa-looking shirt ever. Robbie literally looks like he was in my fraternity. He looks like he was a SIGEP at FSU. 100%, or maybe a Pi Cap. Robbie, you can't trust Robbie. Robbie laughs. Robbie's another fan of me. For sure laughs a lot. But also is like, I'm just having fun. Bro, he's just having fun. Robbie's having fun. Careful with Robbie. But Robbie could sneak in there. Robbie could sneak in later in there. Tyler from West Virginia. Tyler's a good guy. Yeah. Smiles, not Tyler's the guy out of all these guys who doesn't match his picture. That's what I'm gonna say. Tyler's picture doesn't match his personality. 100%. Tyler for sure is just all he's concerned about is that his parents are proud of him. That is what Tyler is. And now we have a Tyler S, 36, music manager. Okay, relax. Yeah, Tyler S is he's straight up, he's the most Republican out of these guys. He's got some demons in there. Likes to make money. Also in it for the opportunity. But for sure has some good friends, but definitely has fucked over some of his close friends. So watch out for Tyler. Might not be trustworthy. Yusuf, 30, from Alabama. Now, I'm going to go assuming, because I know how they cast these shows, heavy accent and just so Southern into his ways. And, for sure a square. For sure a square. But doesn't know that he's a square because, he's a medical device salesman. For definitely charming then. That means he's charming, but, lacks personality. You can have a good personality and be charming and work in sales, but also could have you're just into your for sure into your own world. He's in his own bubble for sure, and he's probably the most arrogant on the show. I'm gonna say that for sure. And then we have Zach, who's from Jersey. I don't even know how Zach got on the show. What are we doing? What's his shirt doing? Why is he on the show? Zach's just he's from Jersey, addiction specialist. If you know anything about the Northeast, so many addicted people addicted to shit. Zach has a heart, for sure has a heart. Lost a couple friends. Zach's gonna have the heartwarming story for sure. They're gonna interview him and be like, well, you didn't know this about Zach. He lost his brother when he was 12. There's gonna be that with Zach for sure. There's gonna be oh, he didn't have the easiest life growing up. Zach's had the hardest life growing up for sure. And then we got another Zach. I believe this is the final guy. And he's from Utah again. Cleaning service owner, 37. Who could be a potential late round winner too, because I think Zach is ready. I think he's ready to settle down. Great smile. Looks like he's very fit. Could be shorter though. Great hairline. Yeah, I mean, Zach's just kind of Zach's another one whose heart could get broken for sure. Zach could definitely get his heart broken. So, yeah, I mean, going with all these guys, I don't know. I could be way off. You guys watched the show maybe. You've watched it. Maybe you haven't. But I'm going to keep an eye on it. And I'll maybe, I don't know if I'm going to do this every episode during this because obviously I'm just doing it because it was brought to my attention. So I want to get a little invested because it is fun to make fun of this bullshit. But, I mean, God, all of these guys. I wonder what their personalities are like. I don't know if I can actually watch the show. I'll try. If you guys want me to, I will. I need your feedback. But since I'm going on this girl's show and she talks about The Bachelorette, I want to make sure I'm a little prepared. And now I have my thoughts on each guy. Definitely some scumbags in here that you can't trust. Definitely some guys based off looks that I think will go far. But that's that. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll go in and when they eliminate people, I'll be like, oh, I was right about this guy. I was wrong about that guy. Who knows? I don't know. A lot of them, if I was on there, do I have a punchable face? I know that I have a punchable face. A lot of punchable face guys on there. If I was on the show, I want to get on the show. I want to be on the show and be a comedian. I want it to be Michael Lenoci, Los Angeles, California, comedian. I want that to be on there, and then that would be fun because then I could just be silly. Don't care if I get kicked off. It was all just, it's hilarious. So that would be fun. Would I get beat up by some of these guys? Probably, because how would I not be able to make fun of them? How would I not be able to talk shit? So that would be something else. I've never actually got to hit someone in the face that I wanted to hit. Like someone I've always wanted to hit, I never ended up doing it. I've never got to actually punch someone in the face I wanted to. I've punched someone in the face before, but it was never someone I really wanted to. It was just because I was in a situation where we were being idiots and there was a fight or something. But I've never actually said to myself, I really want to punch that guy in the face and got to do it. That's never really happened. And, that's a shame, I guess, to not have that feeling of wanting to punch someone in the face. And I know, Mom, you're probably listening. You're like, well, that's not right. Why would you want to hit another person? I'm just saying that's got to feel good to actually punch someone you want to punch in the face. So I think we should work on me getting on that show. It would be hilarious. I think it would be hilarious. Uh-oh. COVID. Anyways. What a long-winded episode. You know? What a long-winded episode. Now I guess we got to watch that fucking show to see if I'm even right about the personalities. Again, I'm going to put up their pictures so that each one I'm describing, you're like, okay, I'm down. I'll do that in editing. I feel good. Just remember to leave those 5-star reviews, please. And then if you want, check out the membership videos. Join the membership. And then, check out the Takeover Clips page on YouTube. Just, you could find it. It's Takeover Clips is what it is on YouTube. And, it'll be fun. And, let me know. Check out the Takeover Pod on Instagram. Message me on there if you have suggestions or you have anything you want to say. And again, thank you, Jules, for my coffee's kicking in cup. Whatever. My brain's not functioning well. I'm not fully back together. It's only Thursday, so it's been a week since I started throwing my body into this mess. But, shout out to everyone. Thank you guys for listening. I love you. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Subscribe. Tell a friend. Let's blow up this team and win some championships. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
The Takeover.
Okay. Did we start? Yeah, we did. That's how I start.
Takeover.
Now, there's a lot of things we're going to get in eventually. When I speak, and when I speak, and when I speak.
This is the Takeover. Takeover.